Hey everybody, it's James here with Board Game Spotlight and Druid City Games, and I am here with Sarah from Renegade Game Studios. Sarah, say hi.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you. So today we're going to talk about the lineup for 2017, or at least some of it that you guys have coming. Because first of all, you guys crushed 2016. Fantastic games: Lanterns, Dicey Goblins, Clank, World's Fair, Lotus, Brick Party, Covert, Fuse, Doggy Go. The list is a pretty long list.
We had a lot of stuff in 2016. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and so I know that I come across you guys at Gen Con, and I'd heard about some of your games, but I wasn't really sure. And it was just like from like middle of the year last year on, you guys just it was like upward trajectory.
Yeah, we definitely started cranking stuff out, but we don't want to put stuff out too fast. We're really careful about paying attention to every individual release and trying to do a really great job with each one. Because I think there are just a lot of great games out there, so you have to make them stand out.
Sure, sure. Okay, so the big thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is what do you have for 2017? So I know that I saw just released that I saw this week was the Clank expansion, Sunken Treasures. Can you talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah, people seem to be pretty excited about that. So Clank was a really big hit when it came out. And then we had a little bit of time there where it was hard to find because we had such a great amount of people excited about it that we sold out. And then we just barely got some more back in stock. So if you're looking for the Clank base game, you can find that now at friendly local retail stores. Pretty much everywhere has it back in, hopefully for a little while, because we do have this expansion coming out. It's called Clank Sunken Treasures, and it is now underwater. So you get a whole new board that's double-sided, just like the original was, and now you're going underwater, diving down into some flooded rooms, getting new and different treasure. You have some different bosses to fight. You have new cards to add to the deck. It's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, because Clank was actually like the surprise hit for me of last year. I think I've told the story before, but I saw the banner at Gen Con and I was like, what a stupid name for a game. And the guy I went to Gen Con with came back and he had it and he was like, they have that you bought that stupid game. It has the stupidest name. And we sat down and we played it like 4 times in a row because it was so awesome. And then I was like, oh, well, this is what I get for opening my big mouth.
Yeah, I think it is kind of surprising because for me, when deck builders were really huge several years ago, I looked at that and thought, this has got to have a lifetime that it's going to expire. You're not going to be playing deck builders 10 years from now. And I also was very wrong in that I think that this game in particular has done something new and exciting with deck building that you didn't see in other games before. So now instead of just drawing your cards and playing them out into your own tableau and then picking them all up again every turn, you're actually doing something on a board that's very exciting. And I love that feeling of suspense. I don't think that we get that in board games the same way we do in other entertainment as well. And I love that Clank really brings that to the table. Every time somebody is grabbing cubes out of the bag to see if the dragon's going to deal damage to somebody, it's just exciting. And I love that the game is just actually fun. So now with Sunken Treasures, you get to do it again.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Okay, so let's talk about Honshu. I know that you guys really excited about that one. I've seen a lot of press coming out on that one. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Honshu is a game that we found at Essen. We went there to meet with all of our partners to look for new games, and we're really happy that we found this one. My husband and I actually were there for a vacation after Essen, and I picked it up at the show, and we played it the entire week after the show while we were traveling around on trains, just the two of us. It was perfect. It's a great 2-player game. It has slightly different special rules for that, but it also has rules for up to 5 players, which is nice because a lot of games don't work that well at that higher level of players. And so it is a card laying game where you take a card and you're either going to put it underneath or over top another card that's already in your city that you're building for yourself. And that means that there's always sacrifices you have to make and good choices along the way. But to get those cards in the first place, you're going to go through a phase where everybody picks a card from their hand as a number. You'll all put them in the middle. Whoever played the highest number gets to pick first. So you have to be really careful and strategic about, do I put down this really high number now so that I can really get this one that I want, or do I save this high number because what's out there already isn't very good for me? Or is this card that I have in my hand already the one that I want? And when do I play it so that I know I'm going to get it back? So lots of really good decisions in the first phase of the game when you're picking your cards, and then also really good strategic choices in the second phase. But it all happens in a total of 30 minutes or so for a whole game. Even with 5 players, it doesn't drag on, and it's pretty small, so you can play it while you're traveling. It's got everything I wanted in a game. It's just awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of dynamic choices, which is what makes a game good for me anyways.
Yeah, I've played it a lot of times. I'm not sick of it, which is kind of unusual. I generally try and play all the hot new stuff, keep up with everything, and so I'm always going to the next new game. This one, I just want to keep playing it. So I just keep showing it to my friends who haven't experienced it yet.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Flatline. I know I've seen some stuff on that, and it looks pretty good.
Flatline is very cool. So we are announcing that this week. You and I are actually talking on Sunday. We're going to be announcing that on Wednesday of this week. And it's the next game by King Clanko. And this guy has just been hitting it out of the park lately too. We love working with him because he has such great games. I love Fuse. It's one we published at the very tail end of 2015. And the 2016, it just did great. It's cooperative. You're rolling dice. You're trying to defuse these bombs. It's all very fast and intense. So Flatline is in the same setting. You're on a ship, a starship that's been attacked by these aliens. Instead of trying to defuse these bombs, now you're trying to work in the medical bay, helping out the patients that are coming in after this attack. And you're still playing as a cooperative game, but it's sort of reversed from Fuse. You roll your dice and then have a 1-minute timer, and all of you have to work together to decide where you're putting your individual dice onto the board. Instead of grabbing dice from what was rolled and putting it on your own stuff, you're doing the opposite. So still very intense, but it's nice because you have 1 minute at a time where you do this thing that's really crazy, and then you have a break kind of where you talk about things and strategize.
Very good. Yeah, sometimes I get too stressed out on those games, so I like the sound of I got a minute to be crazy, and then we can do some planning and then go back and forth.
Yeah, and I think it'll also help with that cooperative nature of the game. Fuse was great because it was so fast that everybody had to be in charge of their own stuff. There was no extra time to be fooling around and trying to have one person in charge. Everyone had to do their thing. So in this one, you can set up a little bit different dynamic with your group, which will be great.
All right. Well, that one sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to playing it. Next on the list, I know, is Castles of Caladale. Tell us a little bit about this little tile-laying game.
Yeah, this one's super fun. I got to play a prototype of it. We actually had one at BGG-Con this year, and it is a fantastic tile laying game where you pick a tile from the middle, you put it on your board, and you're building a castle. So this sounds very familiar. We've all played games like this before, but what's super fun for me about this game is that at any time during the entire game, you can rearrange all of the tiles that you've ever collected. So nothing is locked into place until you are all ready to decide to score it, which means that if I get a tile late in the game that really would have been fantastic way at the bottom of my castle, I can just pull everything apart, throw it in there, and make it perfect. So for people like me who really like to have everything beautiful and organized at the end of the game, this is it.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. And as you guys have probably seen the art here, it's really bright and beautiful. So it's a really cool looking game.
Yeah, I think this one also is going to be really specifically good for getting gateway gamers into the game. Also, younger players are going to love this. I think adult regular gamers will have a blast with it too, but I would love to play this with a bunch of little kids who've never seen a game like this before, because they're all going to get it immediately. There's so few restrictions. You're not telling them, no, you can't do that, you can't do this. Everybody can do what they want. So it's just going to be really fun.
Sounds like my type of game. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of the main lineup that you've got on the, say, first half of the year. What else do you have in the pipeline second half of the year that you probably can't talk about titles and things like that, but just give us some hints or any other thing that you can mention?
So we do have a few things coming up that we've already got in the works. Most of our games, we really have to plan about a year in advance to get everything done the way we want it to. So we do a lot of development work. We find the artist that's right for it, and then all the graphic design, so everything. So what we have coming up that I can sort of give you some hints about, we have a game that is coming out from a designer we did work with this year already, or 2016 already. So that one is sort of a bit of a pet project for me. We picked it up early last year, right kind of when I started, and I've gotten to be a little more involved with it. I've done some of the development work alongside the designer. We're working on art right now, which is super fun. And I think it's really good for me to see that whole process from start to finish and really get a good idea of how a game is put together. So for me personally, I'm very excited about that one. We also have another few projects. We have one coming out at Gen Con that is my type of game. It's a worker placement game. I won't say anything more than that, but it is very cool. I've gotten to play it quite a few times because I have a prototype. I think people are really going to go crazy for it.
Awesome. Yeah, I have a special place in my heart for worker placement games. I don't know what it is. It's like crack. I just love them. So
yeah, they're always my favorite.
Well, I'm really glad that you took a few minutes to join us and give everybody a little bit of a sneak peek of what 2017 is. I know, because if anything for a I don't guess technically 2016 was y'all's first rookie year, but it was really the first year that you kind of exploded. So I'm really looking forward to your sophomore effort, if you'll see what comes out of that. So,
yeah, we have a great pipeline. We're going to keep killing it. We've got tons of stuff I think people are going to be really excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, Sarah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you want to continue following what we've got going on, we are at Play Renegade on Twitter. On Facebook, you can find us there as well under Renegade Game Studios. And we are also on Instagram under Renegade Game Studios as well. So we'd love to see you there.
Awesome. I will put all of that information in the comments below. And so you guys can click and follow and make sure that you stay up to date with what Renegade's got going on. So, Sarah, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.